Howdy everybody. Today we're at George L. Smith State Park. We've been out here for most of the week camping, me and Maggie in the Zion SRT. What I thought I'd do was do a little video while we're sitting here. It's windy, it's kind of cool, but sunny today. We've had rain the last 2 days. So I thought I'd do a little video now about some of the things we like and dislike after having and using the van for 6 months and somewhere around 11,000 miles on it. First thing, clarification. The dislikes, there's no deal breakers in the dislikes. Some of them are pretty typical. Most of them could be fixed if you wanted a larger vehicle. I did not. So some of the little dislikes come with the territory of a Class B motorhome. Anyway, starting off with the likes. Fantastic fan. And these are in no particular order. I always heard people talk about the fantastic fan, and it's in the ceiling there, and it's basically a vent fan. I did not realize how fantastic it was till I got this van. In July last year, we were in Florida with it, and in the evening, where it was 97 degrees during the day, and it got down to about 78 at night, 82, 78, we could open the back windows, put on that fan, and the airflow required us not to have air. The fan is excellent for ventilation. Really pleased with it. It's automatic. If there was one thing I didn't like about it, it shuts off when it rains, which is a good thing, but one drop of rain is not enough to make me want to shut it off. So I wish they'd done something a little different there, but I love the fan. Now on the dislike side, let's start with what everybody, I'm sure, is concerned about, and that's storage space. For me and Maggie, there's enough. We have the short Roadtrek, the Zion SRT. There is enough, and they do a pretty good job with some of the storage. The large pot and pan drawer underneath the fridge is excellent. But yeah, you can always use more storage. We got toys. I bring a camera. I bring a drone. I bring fishing equipment. It's hard to find a place to put all that in a Class B van. What else could you do? Get a bigger van. Not doing it. But anyway, that's one of the items. And along with space, counter space. There's very limited counter space in the kitchen, so that does affect making meals and whatnot. And a workaround there, they do have a flip-up counter on one side of the kitchen. Only problem is it blocks half the doorway, and if you're large like me, it's hard to get out the door. I'm going to eventually put a slide-out countertop underneath the little closet they have there over one of the ottomans, and I think that will help a little bit there. So that's one on each side. Next on the likes, I love the fridge and pantry. Both of those items were things that I wanted. I didn't want a low fridge. I wanted a higher fridge. I didn't want a small fridge. This is 5 cubic feet. It's not the biggest, but it's bigger than a lot of small RVs have. And that pantry, the slide-out pantry, is just superb. So those two things are big plus likes that I have. Back on the dislike side, the holding tanks are small. They work well enough for me. I've been able to stay out 2 weeks by using some conservation techniques and whatnot to not have to dump every few days. I've been able to stay out 2 weeks at a time, so that's worked out okay. But you do have to watch it. It does take a little bit of conservation. And the propane tank, I think, is a little small. In the colder periods when you're going to be running that furnace, I think you can run out of propane a little bit quicker than you'd like. I've been trying to conserve that with a small portable electric heater that I can throw up the top. Next up, fuel mileage. I like to travel with this van, so the fuel mileage, I'm getting 17 and a half. Sometimes I get 18. I'm very pleased with that. That's excellent fuel mileage, so I do like that. And on the dislike side, we've got drafts and lack of insulation, which also leads us to noise. There's a lot of noise that you can hear through the vehicle because it is not very well insulated. Obviously, the ProMaster, when it comes from the factory, is stripped. Roadtrek very easily could have put some extra insulation in there to basically keep it warmer / cooler depending on the weather, and at the same time filter out some of the noise. So that's one of my slight dislikes. And on the ProMaster side, it's drafty. The back sliding doors don't seal real well. I've got a curtain back there that helps, and I'm going to do a couple more things to fix that, but currently that's one of the things that's a little bit of a nuisance. Getting back to the likes. This is probably one of the big likes of me with this Zion SRT. It's small, it's nimble, it's easy to drive, you can park it anywhere, it's very maneuverable. I did a report earlier that showed the wheel, the turning radius was actually smaller than my Ram pickup truck. And so you can take it just about anywhere, turn it, park it, and it'll fit in standard parking places. And it's very easy to drive. Handles well. Can't say enough about it. I enjoy driving it. On the not so likable things, quality. Definitely the quality control, especially on the Roadtrek side, was lacking. Refrigerator wired backwards. Air conditioning board was bad. That was obviously never tested in QC. I've got some fit and finish issues with doors rubbing the floor and stuff like that, which I can fix them all. And to be honest, that's pretty common in the RV industry to have a lot of these little things you got to deal with. So, but it is a dislike. It's something that doesn't really need to be there, and therefore it's a dislike. Coming back to the like side, and this is probably one of my biggest. I specifically wanted this unit for the boondocking capabilities. I've got the lithium-ion batteries, 400 amp hours. I've got 300 watts of solar, the underhood generator. I've been out 2 weeks at a time and not had to plug in between all of those things. That's great, because the other thing in my travels, I like to go and visit people, so I can pull in somebody's driveway and park there and I don't have to plug in. So it's great to facilitate boondocking, which facilitates seeing people. And one of the things that I think is important to me, and hopefully is to you, is as you look around, as we get older, people aren't going to be with us forever. And the last thing you want to do is lose somebody close to you that you haven't seen in a few years and say, geez, I wished I would have. So one of the things I like to do in my travels is go see people. And I do that quite regularly, at least 3 times a year. I make 2.5 week trips to go visit old friends, family, and people I haven't seen in many years. So that is a big plus on this particular vehicle. One of the other dislikes now, and it's probably fairly minor, but I got the front-facing sofa, and you put that down and it makes a bed. You can put cushions in and make a queen-size bed. I only use it as a basically it's like a twin, I guess, at that point, because it's just me and Maggie. But it's not very comfortable for sleeping. The cushions, the way they're in the joint between the back and the front, the seat part to the back, when you fold it down, not comfortable sleeping on that. I got a 2-inch memory foam mattress pad to go on it, and that seems to have helped a lot. Much more comfortable, and again, I think that's something that's pretty common on these fold-down furnishings. If you don't have a dedicated bed, hindsight, I would have got a dedicated bed in the rear if I could have, because I don't use the sofa anymore. I leave it made as a bed, and because I'm not doing the whole queen size, I get a little sitting niche right there and a little more floor space. So that part works out good for me. So that's it. I think the highest on the likes is clearly the size, the nimbleness, boondocking capabilities, and how it allows me to go around the country and see people that I haven't seen or that I want to see, and even meet new people sometimes from the forum, the Roadtrek Zion forum. That's always fun. So most of the dislikes are little quality issues that have been taken care of, issues that could be resolved if I wanted a bigger vehicle, which I don't. So clearly the likes are winning out for me, because we are enjoying our Roadtrek Zion SRT, and we're enjoying it a lot. Anyway, that's it. We're going to sign off now from George L. Smith State Park in the great state of Georgia, and we'll catch you all down the road a piece. Bye-bye.